And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semi-finals, or semi-finals here of the WardiTV Monday number 93, the very first WardiTV Monday featuring the new patch. Let's go. Let's jump on in. I'm Coach VIP. We're jumping into our semi-finals this morning. In the top right-hand corner of Sanctuary 3, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran. For Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Let's delve into our initial TVP. I would say that this is one of the matchups that has been changing quite a bit as of late. If you missed out on the earlier broadcast today, if you missed out on the RSL qualifiers, I do highly recommend it. We casted Zaun versus Cure and ByuN versus Trigger. We had some very, very intense TVPs. Honestly, really good matches, really good series, and I hope that MaxPax is able to live up to that as well. I don't know how much experience MaxPax has with the new patch, so we'll see what his approach is to Terran in the new patch in TVP. For now though, I'm going to be opening up. Again, standard opener so far, single gas opener out of ByuN going for a Rax expand, and likewise standard opener out of MaxPax as well. Now what we've been seeing quite a lot of actually is Twilight Council heavy play, relatively standard mid game, except we have been seeing, especially from Trigger, avoiding warp gate play, which was really cool to see. He avoids turning his gateways into warp gates for the entirety of the game, actually just commits to mass regular gateway production to be able to have a stronger defense early on and to be able to get away with greedier builds. 2-gate blink specifically, going Twilight Council opener into 2-gate blink into a third base seems to be much safer by not making them into warp gates. But we'll see. We'll see if MaxPax is also of the same mindset. If so, we can talk about it, we can discuss it, we can delve a little bit further into it as to the rationale behind it. For now though, Adept does poke in, does pull away. Again, ByuN going for a greedier build. Welcome to Sanctuary 3. Sanctuary 3 does feature a high ground natural, so it's a much more defensive natural base. Easier to defend, easier to maintain, and aggression as a result is going to be a little bit more dissuaded here in Sanctuary 3. Yeah, Adepts, they get punished. They get pushed away. Warp Gate is almost done. Bearing in mind that researching Warp Gate does increase the production time of regular gateways without turning them into Warp Gates themselves. So still the go-to. Behind this, ByuN going for his own 1-1-1 into add-on swap. Okay, so there's no Widow Mind drop. No Mind drop play. From here we can go into Banshee or just go into Raven. Here we go. MaxPax does poke in. Behind this, we can see MaxPax. Ooh, he commits a little bit harder. 2 more gates on the way, so it's going to be 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink out of MaxPax. Going for the Robo. Much more dedicated play out of our Protoss. Much more dedicated. Nice auto stepping, catching out one of the Adepts. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 Adepts go down. Oof. Catching out to Adepts so far. ByuN, he does get away with no bunker. Again, due to the high ground, he was able to take some better trades. And in the main base, it is going to be Cloak and Banshee. So not just Banshee, we double down into Cloak as well. Meanwhile, MaxPax, remember, he went for the earlier Robo before expanding. He's going for much more committed play, which also allows MaxPax to get into what? Into Observers as well. So he has potential, he has the tools to defend. We'll see if he can, as he himself is going to be the aggressor with the Warp Prism with Mass Blink Stalker. Let's go. So MaxPax is about to move out. Behind this, he's trying to get Vision ready here to be able to respond in time. Currently, I believe there is no Observer. Double checking. Yep, no Observer. No Observer, no detection. Banshee does move in, and MaxPax, he moves out. This is a very old patch build, going 3-gate blink with warp gates as well. So a very old patch build into a third. We saw this out of Zaun this morning as well. We're still on the fence about like how good this is in comparison to other builds we have available, but regardless, Banshee does backstab, getting 1, getting 2 probes, getting up to 4, 5, 4. Yeah, 4 probe kills, nice damage. Ooh, as another Banshee does cloak in the center of the map, does get away, and this is delaying, right? This is delaying MaxPax, not just delaying, but also MaxPax feels forced to defensively warp in when he wants to be aggressive. He wanted to move out, tank shot's gonna be popping off. ByuN is aware. Getting in position. Ooh. Catching out one of the Stalkers. Second tank has arrived, and this aggression is failing. And this is a rough start. A rough start here for MaxPax. Again, he went 3-gate blink with the Prism as well. So far, the Banshee does find more damage, distracting MaxPax and stopping any damage being done. Oh no! No, he goes in! Oh my god, MaxPax inattentive, taking extra damage here as well. We gotta lock in, baby. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Not like this. Does thankfully pull away in time, but taking extra damage. And this is a rough start for MaxPax. So far, it has been a rough start. The pressure's on MaxPax to find some more damage. Does rally everything across the map. There are no more Banshees. But so far, ByuN is secure. He's got his bunker. He's got his 2 tanks. Mass Marine. The stim is still nowhere near being done. Oh. MaxPax does not get in. Oh. Does poke in. Does pull away. And so far, ByuN is looking solid. Yes, he's being contained, but he wanted to be contained. He's just building up in 2 bases, sniping the Observer, waiting for Stim. Once these upgrades kick in, then ByuN can move out. Then he can break out across the map and start to push. MaxPax getting ready for the backstab, but Charge is finishing up. And we'll see if MaxPax can buy enough time to build up his Colossus. We have Colossus on the way, Forge on the way as well, upgrades, further tech. So MaxPax does need time, though. He needs time. And here comes ByuN. ByuN with a mass on siege. Here comes his move out. Drop at the same time. Does get spotted. Ooh, nice catch. Nice catch from MaxPax. As ByuN moves out, MaxPax moves in. There's 1 turret in position. The Prism is like, no! The Prism! Oh my god. The Prism is low from earlier. 4 HP. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that's purely because of the damage done earlier when MaxPax was inattentive. Otherwise, he could have committed. Otherwise, I could have gone for it. Stalker gets caught. ByuN rallies across the map. MaxPax sees up to 2 Colossus. Does have 2. Warps in across the map. Going for the Zealot run by. Warpism once again into the main. Distracting ByuN. Pulling him back. MaxPax does not commit. And here comes ByuN's main army. Ooh. Yeah, Colossus somewhat exposed. ByuN making his way through. He does try to make his way through. So far, ByuN, he does defend. He does hold back at home. Prism goes back in. There are Widowmines waiting, though. Oof. Prism does barely bob and weave its way through. He threads the needle. Yeah, threads the needle, gets into the mineral line. Ooh, Prism is denied. ByuN defends. And I can fix that on the push. I can focus. There are soon to be 3 Colossus, though. Has ByuN taken too long? Has he taken too long at this point? As they're building a more Colossi. Tanks that will siege. Oof. Tank boy's going up, he sims in. Hey, sims in, he gets another Colossus as well. Gets 1. 1 Colossus goes down, gets 2, and he gets all 3. Oh, no, just 2. Just 2 Colossus. Pulls away. That was a massive dive. Zelda coming from behind, and ByuN gets punished. He gets punished for the dive. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN losing the tanks. Losing most of his main army. He has to back off. And MaxPax holds. Does hold on. Very nice around there from MaxPax. Coming in from behind. Going for another counterattack. ByuN had potential. He had potential, baby. Now, what's important is that MaxPax didn't just defend, he didn't lose any economy. His 4th base is up and running. His 5th base is now on the way as well. So ByuN is still maintaining himself. Sorry, MaxPax still maintaining himself. ByuN forced back home, turtling up. 4 CC is on the way. And can be denied. Can be denied here. Another Zealot run by. Running into mines. Yeah, Zell's gonna be cleaned up. CC's gonna be cancelled. Oh, ooh, that's a kill. Yeah, kill, not a cancel. Massive pick off. Vikings, they punish. Gets one and gets both Colossus. Yeah, both Colossus this time should go down. Massive pickoffs. MaxPax does overextend. And again, MaxPax is only on one rover. He can't afford those losses. Not like this. It does deny the fourth base for a second time, though. Okay. So we're getting a little bit messy here. On the one hand, MaxPax has been taking some worse fights. On the other hand, has hindered the economy here. Has denied the fourth base a couple of times. It is slowing down ByuN's growth. Not the Zealot run by. Again, pylons have been set up. Shout out to the fast warp-ins. Warp-ins, they continue. They keep harassing, they keep delaying here. And ByuN turns everything back around. Oh. And the Vikings do defend. But again, because of all the Zealot harass, because of these pylons as well, MaxPax, he's chilling, right? He's able to stabilize back at home. There's no harass, there's no drop play, there's no run-bys. The economy here is untouched for MaxPax. Building up into a second robo, into a third Colossus, and into eventually Disruptors. And here they come. Disruptors are now on the way. So MaxPax just refining his composition. So again, we have a back and forth. MaxPax, he has weathered the storm. I will still say, though, that MaxPax hasn't gained map control, the kind of control that you want in PvT. He's not containing ByuN on a lower base count and mass expanding. Not exactly. ByuN has a threatening force to work with as well. Like, it's still quite tense. As again, MaxPax cannot threaten the fourth base any longer. Did delay quite heavily, but is now up and running. It's now up. MaxPax moves in. Again, there are plenty of Vikings. Not much anti-air here. Not many Stalkers. As he moves out, Zeltade with the mineral line and nice damage. SV's going to be going down. ByuN's in trouble. Yeah, don't do that. Workers at the same time. Vikings, good angle. They get one, they get two. And they should get all three. They should get all three Colossus. Yeah, the Colossi go down. Nova goes up. Ooh, last second split. Not good enough. Yeah, we are getting messy. Zealot run by is cleaned up. Prism into the main. Does get in. Gets into the main. ByuN responds. Yeah, ByuN does respond in time, but this is distracting ByuN. As ByuN's still losing 11 SCVs. Prism was shut down. Recalled. Okay. Did recall back home. Recalls back home in time. Again, still very tense. Very tense. And ByuN has yet to build up into Liberators. Fusion Core's on the way. That's going to be for Liberator range. ByuN still needs more time. MaxPax poking in, trying to engage, taking more bases. Finally, for the first time in a long time, ByuN is able to actually threaten the bases of MaxPax. As he does so, another Zealot run by, and that Warp Prism. Ooh, Prism goes down, doesn't make its way in. Massive pickup. Yeah, Prism goes down, but the Zealots are trading well, collapsing on the Ghosts. Ghosts are falling, massive pickups, expensive losses for ByuN. Oh, that's an overs. Okay, they turn away, they buy more time. And ByuN, they're bleeding out so many gas-intensive units here. The Ghosts, the Marauders as well. Oof. Okay. Slows down the army. Does delay. But these Zealots, they're still trading. They're not trading badly. As MaxPax trying to break through. ByuN is reinforcing. Still looking for an opening. Almost gets a Colossus. It doesn't quite get it. Nice movement there by MaxPax. Saves a Colossus. Does push further in. And once again, MaxPax, he defends the base, right? No economic damage. Base is untouched. Top left is now getting fully saturated, or now getting saturated. DTs hit the mineralize. I noticed the rally earlier, which is why I panned over to the mineralize. I was curious as to what it was. It was the DT rally. That was Dark Templar. 7 SCVs going down. Now being cleaned up. But again, just so much aggression here from MaxPax. Going for more run-bys, more counterattacks. ByuN still cannot take a 5th. Still can't take it. MaxPax blinks in. We barely have any Vikings. They're being focused down. Down to 2. Down to 1. Down to 0. Yeah, 0 Vikings left. Nova's going to be connecting. Now we can reign supreme with 4 Colossus against 0 Vikings. And MaxPax, he's doing it. Yeah, he is doing it here. It was still very intense and very chaotic, but hey, he got away with his bases, built up his economy. Massive Nova's going to be connecting. ByuN sims in desperately. He might get 2 Colossus, but he cannot win the fight. No shot, not like this. Armies over sims. Delta can just give chase. Kites back to the planetary. ByuN trying to hold on. Trying to. Yeah, so the final army here. The final army goes down. GG gets called. There's nothing left. And MaxPax will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. MaxPax will take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense back and forth here. Almost non-stop aggression. We saw so much pressure on MaxPax to get damage done, and eventually did. Initially, we saw him fail to do so with his run-bys, with his drop play, but eventually was just picking away at the seams of ByuN. I would say that it all began with ByuN losing his 4th base. Was it 2 or 3 times at that point? Like ByuN, it was a kill initially, then a cancel. It took him so long to get his 4th base, and that heavily delayed ByuN's growth in that game, and it gave MaxPax time to build up his Colossus, to build up his 5th expansion, and to maintain that map control. And with that, MaxPax is snowballed out of control. It was still very back and forth, still very tense, but again, ByuN just had a really hard time claiming his 4th, and eventually, I mean, never even got a 5th base. Never even got a 5th. GG. GG, well played. ByuN, he ran out of steam. With that, MaxPax will take a lead in the series. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Esther Sugarcult the second for the raid. Thank you so much. God, thank you so much for the raid. Also, my apologies. Just realized I had the wrong team there for ByuN. Sorry, it's we were casting Clem earlier. For those that are unaware, we were casting Clem. So that's why I was Team Liquid. There we go. All good. So we're getting into game number 2. Gracias. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good ladder session. Hope you had a great time. As we're getting further into our semis. Just catching up with the chat. As spawning in the right-hand corner of Lockdown, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Here we go, as we are going to be settling into game number 2. Once again, though, game 1 was very intense back and forth here and heavily reliant on MaxPax finding damage, punishing the economy, and slowing down ByuN. We'll see how our players will adjust our approach here coming into Lockdown. Lockdown, similar to Sanctuary 3, also has a high ground natural. You can see here the ramp coming into the natural base, so we do have a much more defendable 2-base setup. The 3rd base is where things get a little bit more spicy. We have the low ground 3rd base here on the left, or you have the high ground 3rd base option instead. On top of that, depending on how you expand, you can expand towards your opponent further across the map and use this as a staging ground to push into your opponent's side. We'll see how we decide to expand and build up into the mid game. I'll be honest, so far on Lockdown, we've yet to really experience much mid game play. The map pool is still quite fresh. It's been around for a week so far, so still very fresh, still limited games. We don't really get that many games on Lockdown, so excited to see some longer games here. I'm hoping we can get there. I'm hoping. After a patch drops, pro play must be more volatile. How long does it take for the meta, I guess, to settle? It depends on the patch. I think Kura was kind of alluding to that. It depends on the patch. It depends on what changes. I think, for example, here, like, mid to late game play is unchanged, but like getting there and the dynamic and the flow is different, and the kind of momentum that you have as well. I think an example of that is that last game MaxPax, he had a much harder time gaining and maintaining map control, which I think is a good thing. You would definitely argue that in the previous patch it was much easier for the Protoss player to achieve that kind of state, which I would say is a negative thing and a negative aspect of PvT. I think right now the concerns are that that can still be achieved, but we'll see if that's the case, right? I would argue that one of the reasons why last game was as shaky as it was, remember, what did MaxPax go for? He went 3-gate blink. He went 3-gate blink into hyper aggression, and MaxPax fell behind at the start of game 1. Like, ByuN had the much stronger start, shutting down the Stalker aggression, shutting down, remember he killed the War Prism in the main base. We saw that MaxPax was trying to do everything he could to break the third, and he couldn't. Like, it was a stronger early game out of ByuN. It was just in the aftermath of that where MaxPax was able to have that comeback happen. But it was very back and forth. But that's one of the reasons why the game was so as chaotic as it was, is because of MaxPax's rougher early to mid game. It was not as clean due to the failed aggression. For now though, Twilight Council open out to MaxPax. We'll see if he goes 3-gate blink again. Remember last game was 3-gate blink into the Robo before the third. We'll see if that trend continues. MaxPax does poke in. Behind this, ByuN, he does go for his own Rax expand into factory follow-up. Nothing crazy, not yet. Last game, ByuN did go into Cloak Banshee. I would typically say that it's ill-advised to go into that kind of build twice in a series, especially in a best of 3. So here we see an early Cyclone out of ByuN, a later Starport. MaxPax does poke in. We are going for the safety robo. Okay. Safety robo out of MaxPax. Second gateway is also on the way. As MaxPax gets in, that should not have happened. He also gets a free scout as well. Aye, fast third CC out of ByuN, and MaxPax does confirm the fast third. Yeah, rough moment here for ByuN. Did not lift up in time. Behind this, MaxPax, he responds with the zone third base. It is, I believe, 2-gate. Yep, 2-gate blink into the third. Greedier build out of MaxPax this time, and it should be safe to do so because of the greed from ByuN as well. So MaxPax, he can cut some more corners. We can rush into, say, faster forges, faster robotics bay as well for faster colossal production. We'll see where the greed ends. As it's going to take a lot longer here for ByuN to build up. Oof. And we'll take a lot longer. Getting to our eventual 3-1-1 setup. Into Stim, into Bio. Tanks are amassing as well. We're really just waiting to see what kind of tech gets thrown down for MaxPax. If any at all. For now, 2 extra gateways, getting up to 4. Okay, the UI should be fixed. It's just we were casting Clem earlier. That's the only reason why I said Team Liquid. As if there it is, the Forge and the Bay. As we mentioned before, MaxPax can afford to be greedy like this, delay gateways, and just go for all the tech you can. We could have even taken it one step further and gone double Forge as well. But it's fine. So Forge, Bay, Colossus, upgrades, tech, charge. Now we see the gateways afterwards as well. MaxPax is looking much more comfortable compared to game 1. Yeah, we're settling in. MaxPax just containing, looking to catch any kind of draw play, any kind of move outs. Oh, as ByuN will find the observer and does get the sniper. Nicely done. Catching at the observer again. ByuN is just stuck at home until Stim finishes. Stim, combat shields. This is the dynamic that has not changed from patch to patch. Is that the Terran players just stuck at home until they can get their upgrades going. They're just stuck on 2 bases. And MaxPax, he's once again ready for the backstab. ByuN has his turret in position, 2 turrets even, and the Cyclone. Uh oh. ByuN moves out. That should prompt MaxPax. MaxPax moves in. Does he react in time? He does. Whew. This time a much faster reaction. Nope. Does break the lock on. And no major losses from either side. What's important though, as the Stalker gets caught out, is that ByuN does expand. Does claim his 3rd. Does take his 3rd base. Now we have the 2nd forge on the way. Again, I feel like we could have gone this a little bit earlier, but maybe MaxPax wasn't too certain as to how passive or defensive ByuN was going to be. But now 2nd forge, into the 4th expansion, full saturation. And I was curious if this was going to be the moment that ByuN breaks out, but the answer is no, as we have more Vikings on the way and the Academy on the way as well. So ByuN just being hyper defensive here, just turtling up, taking up as well. I believe ByuN should be able to get his 4th base without too much issue, referring to this linear 4th. We'll see. Again, specifically on this map, you can just knock down these towers, fully wall this area off. Just wall it off. Turtle up. MaxPax now going for a 2nd robo. This should lead into disruptors, as there's already 3 Colossus. Already 3. Is ByuN going to turtle up until Liberators? He may just. The starports. There's no fusion core yet, I believe. Yeah, no fusion core. Just 2nd starport, more Vikings. Slowly building up. And I still do favor MaxPax's position here, depending on who attacks first, right? The MaxPax should not be pushing into this. MaxPax ideally should be waiting for ByuN to take a 4th base. And then MaxPax can pounce. But ideally wants to wait for the 4th. I say that he might just commit into the 3rd. Does poke in. Picks off the gas. Gets a couple of SCVs. A decent angle here from MaxPax. Yeah, nice angle. Denying more mining. Nervous don't know where the ground army, and ByuN just cannot engage. Not like this. No, the tanks. Yeah, throws away 1, 2 tanks going down. Massive pickoff. 7 SCVs as well. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, ByuN getting caught out of position. Was not expecting this kind of rotation at a MaxPax. Ay, ay, ay. And things are looking dire here for ByuN, as his defenses have been compromised. Yeah, Nova goes off. Oh, massive connections. Catching on Marauders. Colossus, they hold their own. Not enough Vikings. Prism even slips into the main. Tries to. Is denied. And Prism gets denied. But once again, heavy losses here for ByuN. Losing Marauders, losing Ghosts as well. Oh, bit of miss target firing. Yeah, a little bit messy towards the end here. A little bit messy. MaxPax has to pull away. Running out of Novas. But this is still worth it. This is still fine here. Zell's taking it to the main. It gets into the main base. More SCV is going to be going down, and ByuN is just getting torn apart. Ay, ay, ay. Again, he failed to defend, failed to turtle up. Couldn't maintain his 3 bases. More Zealots have arrived. And Colossus, oh, does barely survive as well. On 1 HP? 1 HP! 1 HP finally does fall, but that's still 28 SCV kills. The main army did crumble. MaxPax just keep warping in and cannot be stopped. Cannot be stopped. Oh my god. Nervous to get into the middle line, 32 SCV kills. ByuN, he may force this back, but MaxPax has 93 pros back at home. He has a massive economy. Not like this. And again, as I mentioned before, a couple of minutes ago, this has just been a very comfortable game for MaxPax. Very, very comfortable. Again, MaxPax has scouted the early economic builds quite early on. Confirmed the economy, confirmed the greed, responded with his own. And MaxPax just taking every other base on the map. Every other expansion. Again, game 1 was very close, very clutch, very back and forth. But here in game 2, MaxPax has been left alone. He's been fine. He's been perfectly fine. Some messy nerves out of MaxPax. Yeah, a little bit messy here. Very trigger happy. Uh-oh. MaxPax taking a rough fight at the same time, going for a massive Zealot counterattack and gets into the mineral line. That's EMPs. Oh, but still trading Zealots for Ghosts. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 Ghosts going down. Oof. Not like this. ByuN army gets caught as well. And ByuN's just being pulled apart. He's being picked apart here. So many losses. EMPs are nice and all, but ByuN does not have an economy. And GG gets called. GG gets called. They're just not up here to defend, and MaxPax, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, MaxPax. He will claim the series. Again, game 1 was very intense, very back and forth, was what we won out of TVP. Here in game 2, winding it back, if you remember, ByuN went for a very fast 3rd TC, and the problem was that he got scattered almost immediately. Ideally, if you can keep that hidden, if you can hide said greedy build, then your opponent can't take advantage of you. But instead, MaxPax was able to be hyper greedy as a response to the economic opener of ByuN, was able to just park his army outside of the natural base, delay, and just take advantage of just the entire map, essentially. MaxPax getting up to 93 drones towards the end, and ByuN never touched the economy, never moved out, never could move out because he went for a greedier build, so there was no timing available to him. And in the end, he was shut down. The goal there for ByuN would have been to just turtle up and successfully get up to 4 bases. But we saw that there was an opening, right? There was a vulnerability at that 3rd base coming in from a bit of a flank. So MaxPax was able to outposition ByuN, abuse that position, and just claim it from there. GG. GG, well played. As soon as MaxPax was able to push into the mineral line from that northern position, I mean, that was game. Like, that was just that was brutal damage being dealt, as he caught 2 tanks, ghosts, 7 SCVs, and just kept pressuring that position. Just kept applying pressure, kept going. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting ready here for the lower semis. So MaxPax is in the grand finals, and we're here to find out who will join him. One Zerg player or the other, Solar or Shin. Let's go. Let us go. As we are getting ready.